Diagnosing learning disabilities and autism. How learning disability and autism are diagnosed. Recognizing and understanding how learning disabilities and autism are diagnosed is essential for care workers, as it informs how and when to support referrals, deliver person-centered care, and advocate for timely, appropriate services. Diagnosis also helps ensure individuals can access the right support in education, healthcare, and social care settings. Diagnosing learning disability. A learning disability is characterized by significantly reduced intellectual ability and difficulty with everyday activities, which begins before adulthood. It is a lifelong condition and can vary in severity from mild to profound. Early identification and referral. Diagnosis often begins with the recognition of delayed development. Signs may be observed by parents, GPS, health visitors, teachers, or social workers. These signs might include difficulties with speech, mobility, social interaction, or problem solving. Children are typically referred for assessment by a pediatrician or child development team, while adults may be referred to adult learning disability services or through social care needs assessments. Assessment process. Assessments are usually multidisciplinary and may include cognitive assessments, for example, IQ testing. Evaluations of adaptive functioning, for example, daily living skills, communication. Medical history and developmental background. Observations in various settings: home, school, day services. The Department of Health defines a learning disability as meeting 3 criteria: a significantly reduced ability to understand new or complex information, a reduced ability to cope independently, an onset before adulthood. These criteria distinguish learning disability from learning difficulties, mental illness, or delayed development due to other causes. Diagnosis outcome. Following diagnosis, individuals are often eligible for health checks, for example, annual learning disability checks, special educational needs support, social care services and personalized care plans, access to disability benefits and advocacy support. For care workers, understanding this process helps support individuals through transitions, referrals, and care planning with accuracy and sensitivity. Diagnosing autism spectrum condition (ASC). Autism is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects how people perceive the world, communicate, and relate to others. Autism is not a learning disability, though the two may co-occur. Diagnosis helps clarify support needs and reduce barriers in communication, behavior, and access to services. Recognition and referral. Signs of autism may appear in early childhood, including delayed speech and language development, limited eye contact, repetitive behaviors or focused interests, difficulties with social interaction and flexibility. Referral is typically initiated by GPS, health visitors, educational professionals, for example, SENCO, social workers or speech and language therapists. Specialist autism assessment. Autism assessments are conducted by specialist multidisciplinary teams, which may include psychologists, pediatricians, psychiatrists, speech and language therapists, and occupational therapists. Key elements of the assessment include detailed developmental and medical history, observations across settings, for example, clinic, school, home, structured diagnostic tools, including a DOS-2 Autism Diagnostic Observation Schedule, a DIR Autism Diagnostic Interview, revised. Assessments are carried out in line with NICE guidelines, using either the DSM-5 or ICD-11 criteria. These criteria focus on persistent difficulties with social communication and interaction, restricted and repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, or activities, symptoms present from early developmental stages. Diagnostic report and access to support. After assessment, a formal diagnostic report is provided. This may outline the presence or absence of autism, Functional impact of the condition. Recommendations for support and reasonable adjustments. A confirmed diagnosis can help individuals access autism-specific interventions and therapy. Educational support plans, for example, EHCPs. Social care or mental health services. Workplace adjustments and benefits. Importance for care workers. Care workers play a vital role in recognizing signs that may warrant referral, supporting families during and after diagnosis, ensuring care plans are based on accurate, up-to-date information, communicating effectively with diagnostic professionals, preventing diagnostic overshadowing, where signs of autism or learning disability are misattributed to other conditions. Awareness of the diagnostic process ensures that care is not only person-centered but also responsive to the evolving needs of individuals and families. In summary, the diagnosis of learning disabilities and autism in the UK follows a structured, evidence-based approach involving early identification, multidisciplinary assessment, and clear diagnostic criteria. For care workers, understanding this process is essential to delivering informed, compassionate, and legally compliant care. The importance of early identification and appropriate referral pathways. Early identification of learning disabilities and autism is critical in ensuring that individuals receive timely, tailored support that can significantly improve their long-term development, independence, and quality of life. For care workers, recognizing early signs and understanding when and how to refer is a key part of delivering effective, person-centered care. Delays in communication, social interaction, mobility, or behavior can be early indicators of a learning disability or autism traits. When these are noticed, whether in children or adults, it is vital that care workers raise concerns sensitively and refer to the appropriate professionals, such as a GP, health visitor, or educational specialist. Prompt referral triggers further assessment by multidisciplinary teams who can formally diagnose and plan support. Appropriate referral pathways are designed to avoid unnecessary delays, reduce distress for individuals and families, and ensure legal and educational entitlements are met. For children, this might lead to an education, health, and care plan (EHCP). For adults, it could result in a Care Act needs assessment and access to community-based services. Early intervention following identification can support better outcomes in education, social inclusion, emotional well-being, and independence. It also helps families to understand their relatives' needs, access appropriate benefits, and develop support networks. In practice, early recognition and referral depend on good observation, clear communication, and professional curiosity. Care workers should be confident in raising concerns and knowledgeable about local referral procedures to ensure that no individual is left unsupported or undiagnosed due to delays or misunderstandings. Thank you. You have successfully made it to the end of this module.